Yesterday, I booked a ticket home to Ireland. First time in a year. It's like when you miss a day of school and everything interesting happens while you're gone. You know that portal they opened between Dublin and New York? That was like the fucking. I think it was the day I left. I think they installed it. A couple of weeks later, there were the first riots in 100 years in Dublin City because some Algerian guy stabbed three people outside of a primary school in broad daylight. And now, ever since, the biggest debate in the country has been about immigration, racism. A lot of radicalised people. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like going home. I meet so many tourists here from Ireland who have just come here for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and it's all they'll talk about is the immigration problem. I'm I'm expecting to go back and see the city overrun because if it's not, then it'll be awkward. When I was growing up in Ireland, I was born in 2000. I remember there always being immigrants, but none around my age. Now that could be because I went to all Irish schools, primary school and secondary school. Did the entire education system through the Irish language. And, it just makes sense that immigrants coming into the country aren't going to send their kids to Irish speaking schools. That's fair enough. So I was isolated from the population, maybe. It's possible that that's a bias I have. It wasn't until really I went to college that I started to make immigrant friends. And I started to even realise that there are people my age who were born in Ireland and grown up in Ireland and whose parents immigrated. They're first generation. I don't know the exact terminology. Are they first generation immigrants or are they first generation Irish? But those people are seeming to get a lot of hate back home. I'm seeing posts of people saying that they don't feel safe in Ireland anymore, the place they've been their entire lives. And that's fucked. It's just another case of, is it mob mentality, tribal mentality, people wanting to gang up on other people for being different? Because at the end of the day, does the nationality and the ethnicity even really matter? Yeah, if you want to label things and give things terms, sure, ethnicity and nationality are two different things. Maybe you're not ethnically Irish, but if you're born there and that's your passport and that's where you've grown up, that's the education system you went through. You speak with an Irish accent. You're Irish. But that's not to say that there isn't an immigration problem with illegal immigrants. 160,000 immigrants that came into the country in 2024, and only 40,000 homes or apartments were built. Can't keep up. My sister has two kids and she still lives back in Dublin with my parents because she can't get a house for her and her two daughters. Plato was onto something. And democracy is a joke, basically. Most people are fools. If you let most people have a say, then everything gets fucked up. Most people don't know what's going on. I'm one of them. I'm not saying I know what's going on. There's clearly people who hear one side and that's the side they want to pick and that's the side they choose. People are opinionated. They're not necessarily educated. I'm hoping that this is a case of chronic onlinement. People being chronically online. I don't know, just seeing headlines and seeing other people being angry. Vocal minorities making big noise. And that when I get home, I just don't see any of it. I hope when I get home it's a fucking magical, beautiful place like I remember it being in my head. And that all this is just mass hysteria and people's lives being too easy, having nothing else to worry about. I don't fucking know. But it's the talk of the town, and I guess I'll see for myself.